Hello, I'm Allison. You might also know me as Lady Damfino if you follow me on Instagram and that's how you got here. So I made this video because I wanted to have a place for my tips and just a few things I've learned from visiting Disneyland on Dapper Day in the past. So what is Dapper Day? Chances are, if you found your way to this video, you are already aware. But just in case you don't, Dapper Day is a semi-annual event held at different Disneyland resort parks. I know we do it here in California, they do it in Florida. I think now they've done it in Paris at least once. I might be wrong, don't quote me on that. But it is a really amazing event that people come to the park dressed a little bit to the nines, a little bit crazy. It's usually 50s or 60s inspired. Sometimes it's 20s, sometimes it's just a fancy dress or something you wouldn't usually wear to the park. And it is my personal favorite unofficial Disneyland holiday. And if you want to find out more about exactly what Dapper Day is, because I'm sure the way I'm saying it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, just go to dapperday.com. I'll put the link down below and you can check it out for yourself if it's something you would be interested in attending in the future. So coming up in this video are just a few of the tips I think are important to keep in mind when attending, and hopefully they will help you out. So I have notes, I got these tips pretty serious, you guys. But tip number one is to be creative. Something you'll find is that if you really put effort into your outfit, it makes Dapper Day so much more special. In the past, I've had a couple days where I've just worn something that I kind of just picked out and it didn't really mean as much as the one that I kind of themed and put a little more work into. You might not have the time to really do your own thing, so sometimes that's not an option that you have available to you. But if you do have the time, really, like if you have the skills to sew something, or you find something at the thrift store or a vintage store, you can get it altered to you, or you want to Disney bound and plan something that's really specific to your interest. It does make the day a little more special, especially if you have a group of people who want to be something. So that is what I would say first and foremost, just because it is a day where you're allowed to get away with something a little more on the crazy side than you might usually wear to Disneyland. That would be what I would say is the most important thing, is just to really like do whatever you want, follow your heart, just go crazy. Okay, tip number two is to start planning early, because then you really can take advantage of step number one to be really creative. And also, planning early just means make sure you buy your tickets, make sure you check the Dapper Day site or your other social media sites if you want to meet up with a Disney bounding group, or just maybe some social media friends who are visiting from far away and you want to make time to see them. You should start planning, because the park will probably be a little more busy than usual. The event does get more and more popular and more attended every single year. So that is something you should do, is definitely have a schedule or kind of have a good idea of what's going to be available to you that day, which rides will be closed, maybe parking situation, just all things like that. Just kind of give yourself a little bit of leeway once you start planning. Tip number three would be kind of go vintage or go home. Not to say you can't wear a reproduction site dress or skirt or things like that, but in the past, if you do buy something from Betty Page Clothing, you buy something from Pinup Girl Clothing, you will have other girls who are wearing the same thing. So if that doesn't bother you, then that is totally fine. But if you're someone like me who sees someone in the exact same dress as you, and that kind of irks you a little bit, that might not be the way to go for Dapper Day for you. But if that's not a thing that's going to ruin your day, then just go for it. Tip number 4 is be prepared for malfunctions. Really just keep your look maintainable. You will be at Disneyland, you're going to go on rides. If you go on Space Mountain, I mean, if you don't have your hair really well hairsprayed, if you have a little bit of allergies and your mascara runs, you want to be able to have the items you need to maintain your look for the whole entire day on you without really weighing you down. So that might mean buying a locker, and you might have to do that early in the day because they probably will all be sold out by the end of the day. And that also means like safety pins for dresses, especially if you're wearing vintage. They're all generally are a little bit more fragile than buying something brand new. So safety pins, maybe a needle and thread, Tylenol in case of a headache, sunscreen if you're like me or very fair, sunglasses for the sun, and maybe Band-Aids for blisters. And that leads to tip number 5, which is to only wear shoes that you can be comfortable in the whole day. Now, you might be attending the evening affair, so your shoes don't need to be as comfortable as if you were getting there at, 9 in the morning and staying till park closes. So it kind of depends on your personal situation, but overall, I choose a pair of shoes that is a little more comfortable over something that is cuter, just because you do want to be comfortable and enjoy your day. I tend to think that Disneyland's floor surfaces are a little more hard on your feet than the normal everyday circumstance. I don't know if that's a fact, but it definitely feels that way to me. The ground does change in certain areas. Main Street can get really slippery if it's rainy, so that's something to think about. Insoles for shoes, or those little what do they call it? Little slippies for the back, if they're a little bit big, that might be helpful. If you're going for a really sock hoppy 50s look and you're wearing like a poodle skirt with like a crinoline or a petticoat underneath, you could always add some socks, like some roll down socks or something that can give you some extra cushion. Those are just things to remember, because if your feet are bothering you, I mean, your whole day, the enjoyment level is just gonna head on down. Tip number 6, gosh, is this it? 6? Is to be friendly. Social media is really your friend when it comes to enjoying a special day like Dapper Day. Be it Instagram or Tumblr or just checking the Dapper Day site. Also, you should have your phone, and if you have a portable charger or a charger to plug in your phone, a charger to plug in your phone during the day so that you can check updates and also be able to find those friends that you might be looking to meet, as I talked about in tip number 2. That's always really useful. I know for me, Instagram is a big thing during Dapper Day. Just doing hashtag Dapper Day or hashtag Dapper Day 2014 now, or Dapper Day spring or fall. You can really meet a lot of new friends, or you can find someone that you saw walking around that you really like their outfit and you maybe wanted to compliment them on that and you didn't have a chance in person, and things like that. And then my last tip, wow, I can't even read what that says. Oh, take all the pictures. It's a really different kind of day if you're participating or you're just a guest in the park. When you see all these people dressed up the way they are on Dapper Day, it really is a special kind of experience that you're not going to get on just your regular trip to Disneyland. It does feel special the way you think it would have when it first opened, and people kind of put a little more effort into the things they wore places. So, I mean, really, you can't always recreate the pictures unless you want to dress that extreme on another day. So just take all the pictures. If you see someone and you like their outfit, just grab them and say, oh my gosh, like, I love what you're wearing. Can I get a picture with you, please? And usually everyone is really sweet about it. Everyone tends to be about as excited as you are. So just you know, go for it. And that's pretty much the main tips I would say. One of my favorite parts of Dapper Day is really accessorizing your outfit. Accessories that you wouldn't ever really bring to Disneyland. Sometimes I like to bring an old camera. I like to bring old buttons. I like to definitely wear gloves. A fun thing for me is like furs, either real or fake if you're uncomfortable with real fur. This is a fun one to me, really like purpley, very luxurious, and something like that is always really, really fun, because when else are you going to wear that to Disneyland? It's not going to happen. If you've attended a Dapper Day in the past and you have other ideas or comments or things you think I've left out that might be helpful to someone who's attending for the first time or wants to kind of do something different for this upcoming Dapper Day event, leave your advice or comments or questions or concerns, anything you'd like to share, just leave it down below. And I'd love you to share your ideas and any outfit inspiration or just things you would maybe add to the Dapper Day schedule if you could. Anything, really. Just go crazy, but be nice, be nice. But have a magical day, and hopefully I'll see you at Dapper Day. Bye.